Super crappy reviews! Hey everyone, and welcome to another super crappy review. Today I'm gonna talk about a game that I bought 2 years ago and then returned because it was unplayable. But now it's playable, so I bought it again and decided to make a review because this game has so much love. And I'm talking about Fighting FEXL, a game by Arika that seemed to be an April Fool's joke, because that's how it presented itself. We didn't know if it was real or fake, because Square Enix did this in the past. Damn you Square, I still want that game. But in the end, it turned out to be real, and once again, we can play with these characters that were forgotten in Street Fighter EX. That's right, the Street Fighter game that nobody remembered or knows, because it hasn't been relaunched like the other titles. Probably because the characters were split between the two companies. Kinda like Shion from Tsukihime and Melty Blood. But anyways, now you're gonna remember them. Thanks to this game existing, and thanks to the collaborations they're doing with other studios, like SNK with SNK Heroines. Look, it's Skullomania with boobs. And Capcom with Street Fighter V. Hey look, it's Ryu, but not really. But anyways, let's go back to the game. Fighting FEXL is a mostly traditional fighting game. You have the classic Capcom 6 buttons, 3 punches and 3 kicks. But in this game, you have normal attacks that can be cancelled into each other in a sequence, similar to Darkstalkers, where you can go from a light attack to a heavy attack. But unlike that game, here you can cancel into a special move after that sequence. Sometimes, because not all normal attacks can be cancelled into a special one. But there are also unique normals that can be cancelled into specials. And if you wanna do more damage, you can add a super! Or 2 supers, or even 3 supers, because they all cancel into each other. And another reason to why I use Darkstalker as a comparison, it's because here you can attack while dashing. Actually, it's probably the most important mechanic in this game, since it's the most efficient method to get in, and that's how most of the combos are done. Another thing that makes this game unique is the Gogi system. Before a match starts, in the character selection, there's this thing called Gogi, which are a series of challenges that can be done inside combat, and by completing them, your character gains buffs. This can be little things like faster movement speed, longer normal throw range, or it can be something ridiculous, like super armor, invisibility, and even teleporting. At first I thought that these abilities would ruin the game or make it a joke, but in the end I realized that they don't ruin the game, since it's really difficult to obtain the stronger abilities, and if you manage to get them, then you're probably playing with somebody who doesn't know how the game works, and you're taking advantage of it. As you should. FGC! And that should be everything regarding the gameplay. It's not that hard to understand, and if you're having problems understanding or doing moves, the game counts with a progressive mode, which turns the special moves into simple directions. There's also an auto combo, which can be done by just mashing weak punch, but the damage will be lower compared to a regular combo. And if you're worried about doing this combo by accident, you can disable it in the game options. I wish every game with auto combos had this. And now, what else does the game have to offer? Not much. It's an incredibly traditional fighting game. There's an arcade mode where you fight against 7 opponents, and at the end you get a screen with some text about your character that doesn't really make sense, since the characters were removed from the Street Fighter universe and their new lore hasn't been invented or explored, I think. Other than this, there's local multiplayer, which explains itself. There's a training mode where you can practice your combos and experiment with different Gogis. And the expert mode, which is actually the combo trial mode. And it's a really antiquated mode. I don't know if it was done on purpose, or if they just didn't bother modernizing it. I say this because there are things like not being able to change the move names into inputs. There are also no combo demos, so you have to figure out how to do them. And around the final trials you can get to a point where they just go, do this many hits in a combo. So have fun with that. And as always, to finish the review, let's talk about the online mode. This was the original reason to why I returned this game. 2 years ago, you were locked to your country. And obviously, nobody in Mexico had this game, especially on Steam. This isn't a PC gaming country, sadly. Here we believe in Xboxes. I couldn't even play with people in Texas who are right next to me, even if I changed my region. The game just didn't let me play with anybody outside. And like I've said before, a fighting game that can't be played with anybody is worthless. But now, that has changed, and you can play with anybody in the world. And if you don't want to, you can just lock it to your region. But why bother when this game already has rollback netcode, and it works. Everybody can play. And that's everything. Fighting EX Layer is a fun game that's easy to pick up. And I love the redesigns they did of the Street Fighter EX characters. Especially Arika. I used to hate her back in the day, but now I feel like she was made for me. Because she has a lot of things that I love, and her super is called Great Cancer. So get this game if you have a chance to. It has an active community and it's pretty cheap on Steam. Some of the things I don't really like are some of the attack animations will look pretty awkward or just incomplete, or make no sense at all. There's also the fact that the soundtrack is amazing, but sadly there's no way to pick a track. I hope they change this since this seems to be a pretty common option. And the game still seems to be in development, so I hope they add it. And I don't like that there are only 2 color variants. You can buy more as DLC, but I don't really like it, but it's understandable. This game is a passion project by Arika, they had no outside funds, and the only way to support them is buying this DLC. So, buy them if you can. And somebody please tell them that Arika is missing her gold and silver color and I want to buy it, so please add it to the shop. And that's all. Finn! Thank you for listening to another super crappy review. Sorry that it's about a fighting game again. But I really like fighting games, and I feel like they're an unappreciated genre, or something like that. And I'd like more people to try them out. But anyways, I'd like to thank the user Ultra Willpower for telling me to try out this game again, and to all of the people on Twitter who kept bugging me and telling me that the game was on discount, so I got it and I finally did the review, so here you go. I hope you liked the review. I'd also like to thank the people who supported me on Ko-fi. I finally got enough for a new hard disk drive so I can get Windows 10 and have more space for more videos and play Forza or whatever. But sadly the disk drive is stuck in the US because of COVID, so I'll have to figure out a way to get it. But anyways, like, comment and subscribe if you like this thing. I'm gonna go see what video I do next. Goodbye.